The South China Sea, which is regarded as a crucial entryway for international trade, has seen an increase in tensions between China and the United States in recent years. There are multiple island groups and features in the South China Sea, including the Spratly Islands, Paracel Islands, and Scarborough Shoal, which are all claimed by different nations, including China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Malaysia. In the middle of this global upheaval, Russia's engagement has surfaced as a novel development. According to rumors, a Russian aircraft carrier has been stationed in the area to reinforce China. The South China Sea situation has become even more complicated as a result of this action by Russia, which has also caused concerns among the United States and its allies. One of the most important shipping routes in the world, the South China Sea links the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Aside from its plentiful fisheries, the area is also well known for its mineral resources, oil, and gas deposits. There has been an ongoing conflict in the South China Sea since numerous nations began asserting sovereignty over various islands, reefs, and other landforms there in the 1970s. As China annexed Scarborough Shoal, a reef that the Philippines claimed, the conflict heated up. China bases its territorial claims in the South China Sea on the 9-dash line, an ill-defined line that includes areas that are also claimed by other nations and covers around 90% of the water. A 2016 decision by an international tribunal finding China had no historical rights to the South China Sea deemed China's claims to be unjustifiable. China has continued to push its claims in the area despite the tribunal's decision by constructing military installations and artificial islands, sending out fishing and Coast Guard vessels, and interfering with the movement of other nations' aircraft and ships. China's efforts have drawn harsh criticism from the United States, which claims that they jeopardize regional stability, violate international law, and endanger freedom of navigation. Russia has been involved in the South China Sea since 2012 and has been conducting joint military drills there with China. But the Admiral Kuznetsov, a Russian aircraft carrier, has recently deployed, which has alarmed the US and its allies. The Admiral Kuznetsov, the sole aircraft carrier in Russia, is a member of the Arctic-based Northern Fleet. The carrier weighs 58,500 tons, has a carrying capacity of 41 aircraft, and is armed with anti-ship and anti-aircraft missiles. The carrier's most recent deployment took place in 2016 to 2017, during which it participated in Russia's military operation in Syria. According to reports, the Admiral Kuznetsov was seen conducting training drills with the Chinese military in the South China Sea in the beginning of 2022. The deployment of the carrier in the area is interpreted as a demonstration of support for China's territorial claims and as a warning to the United States that Russia is prepared to challenge its dominance in the area. There are various effects on the security and stability of the region from Russia's engagement in the South China Sea. First of all, it gives the already complicated geopolitical situation in the area a new dimension. Because of Russia's support for China's territorial claims, China may feel more confident to exercise its sovereignty, and this could result in tensions with other claimant nations rising. Second, Russia may gain a tactical advantage in the area as a result of its aircraft carrier deployment in the South China Sea. The Admiral Kuznetsov's anti-ship and anti-aircraft capabilities might represent a serious threat to the ships and aircraft of other nations in the area, including the US. This may put the United States' military presence in the area and its commitment to preserving freedom of navigation in jeopardy. Finally, Russia's participation in the South China Sea may deteriorate ties with the United States and its allies. To combat China's assertiveness in the area, the United States has been attempting to assemble a coalition of like-minded nations. The region may become more polarized as a result of Russia's backing for China, complicating these efforts. Fourth, Russia's participation in the South China Sea may have an impact on its relations with other nations in the area, including Vietnam and the Philippines, both of whom have territorial issues with China. Russia has remained friendly with these nations and has assisted them in modernizing their armed forces. But its support for China might sour these relations and make Russia less popular with these nations. It's also important to look into Russia's reasons for supporting China in the South China Sea. According to some commentators, Russia's participation in the area is a part of its larger plan to counteract U.S. dominance globally and widen its own sphere of influence. One aspect of this policy might be observed in the strengthening relations between Russia and China, which have been motivated by a common interest in geopolitics and a desire to oppose the United States. Economic considerations may potentially be a factor in Russia's participation in the South China Sea. The area serves as an important entry point for international trade, and Russia's engagement might give it access to new markets and investment prospects. Russia has been working hard to diversify its economy and lessen its reliance on oil exports, and one could argue that its presence in the South China Sea is a part of this endeavor. In response to these difficulties, the U.S. and its allies have worked to uphold a robust military presence in the area and advance an international system based on laws. In order to contest China's territorial claims, the United States has carried out freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. At the same time, the United States is seeking to form a coalition of like-minded nations to fight Chinese encroachment. Yet the presence of Russia in the area adds still another level of complexity to this already volatile scenario. It's unclear how the United States and its allies will react to Russia's assistance for Beijing in the South China Sea. To discourage Russian and Chinese aggression, one possible solution may be to step up military coordination and cooperation with the country's regional allies, such as Japan and South Korea. Another reaction might be to engage diplomatically with Russia and look for areas where the two countries have something in agreement, like counterterrorism or arms control. Such a strategy, meanwhile, would be challenging in light of the current geopolitical environment and the tense relations between Russia and the United States. As a result, the deployment of a Russian aircraft carrier in support of China's territorial claims in the South China Sea is a significant step that adds a new layer of complexity to the already complex geopolitical situation in the area. It draws attention to the dynamic character of geopolitical conflicts and the potential for regional escalation. Russia's involvement in the South China Sea may encourage China to assert its sovereignty more vehemently, pose a threat to American military presence there, and exacerbate tensions between China and other regional nations. The reasons behind Russia's support for China in the South China Sea are unclear, but it's possible that this is part of a larger plan to counterbalance American global dominance and widen its own sphere of influence. The parties concerned must cooperate to defend the rules-based international order and respect one another's sovereignty and territorial integrity in order to foster stability and settle territorial disputes in the South China Sea. In order to support a rules-based international order, the United States and its allies must keep a significant military presence in the area. To find a peaceful solution to the problems, diplomatic engagement and multilateral diplomacy must also be used. The South China Sea situation is complicated and dynamic, necessitating the deliberate and strategic engagement of all parties. In order to foster regional stability and settle territorial disputes peacefully, there needs to be ongoing communication and collaboration between the United States, China, and Russia. This is made clear by the deployment of a Russian aircraft carrier in the area. Thanks so much for watching till the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you never miss a video. Until next time, see you later.